You're next.
Hi,
Hi,
Stephanie. How are you?
we did it.
We did, yes.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I mean, I've only done this a couple of times myself, so it's, it takes a little bit of time to get used to it, and then it's easy peasy.
yeah. Well, I've never done this, so this is my first time doing an IGTV, so I'm glad that you're my first.
Yay! Well, welcome. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me. How's your
Oh,
day going?
very good. Very, very good. We just had a memory. It was so funny. When my daughter was 2 years old, she called the cops. We had one of those landline buttons, and she just pressed the police button and said, "My mommy's being mean to me," because I told her no to candy or something, and I didn't know that she called. All of a sudden, we get a knock on the door, like banging, and it's the police. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? My husband was working nights, so he's like just waking up, like, what's going on? He wanted to make sure the kids were all right and this and that. And I'm like, we forgot all about that. So we had a really good laugh at dinner tonight.
Well, did she get her candy or did she get in
No,
trouble?
she didn't get her candy. And I didn't even know that she said my mom is being mean to me. She was little. I didn't know to ask her, like, what did you say on the phone? I just thought she pressed the number and hung up. This is the first time I've ever heard that, her telling me that. So you learn something new every day.
Yeah. Unfortunately, now with cell phones, kids can't really do that. They need to know 911, and they need to
Yeah.
be able to get the phone from you.
Yes. Yep.
I don't have one of those. Yeah.
So anyway, but thank you for coming. We're going to be talking about the Prisoner of Paradise today, and I'm really excited to talk to you about it. And but first, what are you drinking? Are you drinking anything?
So, yeah, I am. I mean, I do love wine. I drink a lot of wine, but it's like 98 degrees here today, so I'm drinking a hard seltzer
Oh,
because
okay.
I just needed something refreshing. You know, when it's this hot, give me a seltzer with alcohol in it. I'm good.
Yeah, that I agree. Well, I had told you I'm drinking rosé, and it just kind of like hit me, like because I know you're in a rock band, right?
Me
Yeah,
in a rock band?
yeah. Well, you're in a band, right?
No, I used to be a long time ago,
Oh no, I thought
a
you were in a
really
band.
long
I saw
time
you on
ago.
Instagram a while ago. I could have sworn you were videotaped. Maybe I thought maybe it was an old thing or something, or maybe you went to a con. I could have sworn it was like.
I went to a concert, so I posted a clip from the concert that I went to.
Oh, okay.
So,
I'm thinking that you're going
yeah.
to be in it, but anyway, you'll
No,
appreciate this.
I wish I was a rock star.
I'm drinking Hampton water. I don't know if you ever John Bon Jovi. It's his
I,
wine.
I didn't know he had a winery. Cool.
Yeah, him and his son, Jesse, they put this out. I think they put it out last year. They have land in France, not here in New York, but it's pretty good. You bought it, so I'll drink it. I prefer other rosés better, but it's good. I'm
Cool.
enjoying it. And just
And
knowing that,
I heard he moved to the Hamptons.
say that again?
I heard Bon Jovi moved to the Hamptons.
Well, he spends a lot of time there anyway, so he might as well. He's always there.
Yeah.
Always, always, always. Everybody sees him in restaurants and stuff all the time. So, but yeah. So tell me a little bit then about, I guess, maybe the cover of your book, what, inspired you on the cover, the name of the book. Well, I figured out that, well, if anyone read the book, they kind of can figure out the name, but I'm sure they want to find out why you chose that painting and things like
Sure.
that.
Yeah, and for anybody who doesn't know who I am, I'll also tell you a little bit about myself and the
Yeah.
book. So I'm Rob Samborn. I'm the author of The Prisoner of Paradise and soon to be released book called Painter of the Damned. So I live in Denver, which is where I am right now. with my wife and 7-year-old daughter, and we moved here about 3 years ago from LA, but I am originally from New York. So mostly from the city, but I did live on Long Island for a pretty long
Mhm.
time in Nick, and my dad and stepmom actually live in Southampton.
Yeah.
So
Listen.
yeah. And so the first book, The Prisoner of Paradise, is a thriller blended with historical fiction set in Venice, Italy, and is about an American couple who travel to Venice on vacation, but the husband, Nick, comes to believe that his true soulmate is not his wife, Julia, but a woman whose soul has been imprisoned in the world's largest oil painting for 450 years. So Julia thinks that he's suffering from delusions, but he's adamant that this is all real. And he goes on a quest to learn more and discovers an ancient secret society that over hundreds of years has developed a method of extracting people's souls from their bodies, and then they imprison them in this painting as a purgatory of sorts. And then he will do anything to free his beloved from a past life. But the secret society claims that all of the souls, there are actually thousands of them in this painting, they're all evil, and they'll never let him complete his
Right.
work. Yeah. So that's the book in a nutshell. And the cover, for those of you watching who haven't seen it, it's a picture of
You have
Venice.
the book? I don't have the book, or else I would show it because I wanted everybody to see it. Oh,
I could go run and get it. I knew I was forgetting something.
go ahead, go for it. I'll just.
Actually, you know what? I have a bookmark here that
Oh,
is
that's
basically
perfect.
the cover.
Okay, that's exactly the cover, but yes, that's perfect.
It's pretty similar.
So
Yeah,
everyone
sorry
can
about
see
that.
that it's
The whole
Venice.
time I
That's
was thinking in my
okay.
head, like, I'm forgetting something, and of course it's the book. But anyway, so that's the title, The Prisoner of Paradise, and the cover basically looks like that, but a bigger
Exactly.
version of it. Yeah. So it's a dual timeline book. So it takes place in the 16th century and also the present day. And when I was working with the cover designer on it, I really wanted to make sure that we were including the different elements of the different genres. So the thriller element, the historical fiction element primarily, and of course Venice. So those three things were the most important to me.
Yeah. Now with the second book, Painter of the Dam, is there any correlation with the two covers?
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, I forgot an important part of the cover and
Ah,
the title. So the title is The Prisoner of Paradise, which comes directly from the plot. So the name of the painting that I was talking about, which is the largest oil painting in the world, is called Paradise, painted by Jacopo Tintoretto, completed in 1592, and it's mammoth. It's a real painting in Venice. It's about 80 feet wide by 40 feet tall, and it depicts the coronation of Mary in heaven. And there's literally like hundreds of people in this painting.
I cannot
And
wait. When I go to Venice, I'm gonna like race there. I cannot wait to see that because
yeah, it's
it is
spectacular.
isn't it the largest painting probably in the world?
It's the largest oil painting on canvas in the world.
Okay, okay. So how did they even get that big? Like, where did they find a piece? The can. I mean, how did they do that? I don't even know.
Yeah, they made the canvas special for Tintoretto, and he made it in his workshop, and then they rolled it up and brought it in, and then unfolded it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So, so the painting's called Paradise, and his soulmate is a prisoner in paradise. And I apologize. What was your next question?
Oh, the correlation between the two covers, the two covers of the books.
Yes. So Painter of the Damned is the second book. So, and it follows the continuing story, but both of them really could be read as standalones, actually.
Oh, good. I was going to ask you that. Very good. Okay.
Yeah, they can be read as standalones. And so with Painter of the Damned, it does become a little bit more of a thriller, but there's still historical fiction in it. And for that cover, I can go get it actually if you'd like to see it.
Go ahead, go.
Okay, hopefully my background. Okay. All right, 1 second.
While Rob is away, I just want to let everybody know that we will be having giveaways. We're going to be giving away a few ebooks and an audio book. Now, I don't know if anybody has listened to Rob's audio book or not that is watching, but the narrator he chose is unbelievable. Rob, I'm talking about the narrator that you chose for the audiobook. He is so good. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know where you found him, but he is phenomenal.
So his name is Zach Alaman, and I agree, he really is phenomenal. And he's a narrator who works with Tantor Media, which is the audiobook publishing company or production company, I guess, that produced the audiobook. So I was really fortunate that I was allowed to choose from one of the narrators that they work with. I couldn't just pick anybody,
Right.
but I was very, very lucky that Zach
Yeah, I
was
mean,
one.
his Italian. I mean, the way he pronounces everything like oh, you know what I'm saying? Like Italian is his first language, and he pronounced everything so nicely. He could, when with Julia, when he used like a feminine voice, like he could do everything. It was amazing.
Yeah, I'm really, really happy with it. Yeah. And he will be narrating Painter of the Damned, by the way. And this
Oh,
is
that's it.
it. Yeah, so this is the next
Beautiful.
one that's coming out on October 25th. And so, as I was saying, it does become a little bit more of a thriller even than the first one is. And I do think that that's really evident in this cover, which is done by an incredible designer named David Ter. I'm going to butcher his last name, but David Ter um, Alenzian, actually, Alvazian. Sorry, I'm butchering his name. But anyway, and again, like I wanted some parts of Venice. Venice is a city that's completely surrounded, and not only surrounded, but interspersed with water. So I wanted to make sure there was some water there. And they also experience something there called aqua alta, which is high water, which is floods. And there is a major scene in the book with a flood and everything. And so yeah, so that is the cover.
Now, does that happen? Does that happen all the time, that flood stuff, or it's just getting worse and worse as time goes on?
It's definitely getting worse. So it has happened since the dawn of Venice. So Venice is about 1,000 years old. But historically, I believe it only happened maybe about 2 or 3 times a year, typically in the fall. But what's happening is two things. One is that the city itself is really sinking. So they built the city in a swamp, essentially, 1,000 years ago or so. And but the entire city is like marble and stone. So how do you build a marble and stone city in the swamp? They put down millions of pylons, so logs under the water that they buried into the silt of the lagoon bed, and then they petrified, and then they built on top of that. And there's millions of them. The entire city is actually sitting on millions of these petrified wood pylons. Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
Amazing,
And
amazing.
and yeah, so the city itself is sinking because over time, it just goes down a little bit. But at the same time, the sea levels are rising, so it is getting worse, and you can see evidence of this all over Venice. There's literally water stains in places. There's steps where you can see that these used to be steps to go up, and
Right.
now they're completely underwater by a foot or so. So, and then with the Aqua Alta, the high water, what's happening is that it's starting to occur more frequently and also earlier in the year.
Okay.
And I believe that also it's getting higher too. Yeah,
That's a shame, but I mean, I know it's par for the course, but it is a shame.
absolutely. Hopefully Venice won't be lost, but it's,
No, they can't be lost. You got to keep on writing books about Venice.
yeah, yeah.
So I appreciate that. But what else did I wanted to ask you? Oh, okay. Um, I noticed you're on your you have a nice playlist on your website. In case anyone doesn't know, definitely check out Rob's website. I think it's what, Rob Samborn.
Yeah, robsamborn.com. So ROBSAM as in Mary, B as in boy, ORN.com, Rob Samborn.
Rob has a song for every chapter in the book. Is that right? Just
Well,
about. Just
yeah,
about.
roughly. So yeah, so the playlist is comprised of songs that I like, plus songs that I think the characters would like, songs that are actually referenced in the book, and then also songs that fit the story or the tone. So there's not really a song per chapter, but the order of the songs actually does fit the pacing really of the book. You can say.
Yeah, so do you like to, when you write, do you like to listen to the music, or,
Absolutely,
like in
yeah.
general, like when you're writing a book, say when you were writing either book, are you the type of person that likes to listen to music while you're doing it?
I do, yeah. I almost always listen to music while I'm writing. Not always, I should say. In fact, when I don't, I find that I'm not nearly as productive as when I do. And then I'll put the music on, and then I'll just like get into this zone. Like it really
Right.
helps me do that. And I actually write to that very playlist all the time now.
Oh, good for you. And I notice it's a mix. It's like 60s, 70s, 80s. I mean, you have like a
Yeah.
whole, yeah, whole bunch of
I
different.
mean, there are songs from this year.
Mhm.
So it's a total mix. But yeah, there are current songs that came out this year.
Now, okay, you're not in a band anymore, but do you still play, like, on just for the heck of it, or
So yeah,
yeah.
so background, I used to be in a band, two different bands actually. So one in high school, and I play guitar and sing. So I was in a band in high school, and then also in kind of a folk rock band in Italy actually.
Oh, in
So
Italy.
yeah, but in Florence. So I spent a summer in Florence with about five or six of my friends, mostly high school friends and one college friend. And it was by far the best summer of my life.
Oh,
So yeah, a
wow,
bunch
you're
of us were studying.
with your
Yeah, a bunch
friends.
of us were studying abroad, either in Italy or different countries, or I was actually about to go to Hungary. But we all converged in Florence, and I had no real plans of doing anything and no real plans of making any money. But I honestly was just planning on getting a guitar there and playing in a park for for coins the whole summer. But I ended up working in this leather market selling leather jackets by day, and by night, three of us were in a band, and it was kind of like this folk rock comedy show, and we played like probably 3 or 4 nights a week in a bar. We actually we were pretty well known. We had like groupies and stuff. So
Wow, isn't that
yeah,
cool?
so it
You
was a
never
lot of
know.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
go ahead.
oh, sorry, you go.
No, I just said you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. And some of what's in the book, you could say was informed by that trip. So, like, just I've traveled a lot. So, kind of like knowing the experience of being a traveler in a place where you don't speak the language, that type of thing. And there is a nod to that band also in Painter the Dam. I won't reveal it, but there is a nod to it.
Now,
So.
have your bandmates, your ex-bandmates, do they know about the books, and do they know
Oh
they're
yeah.
in there? That's really
Oh
nice.
no, actually, so hopefully they're not watching this. But no, they absolutely. I mean, they're two of my best friends still, and they absolutely know about the books. But they've both only read the first one, so they haven't read the second one. The nod to that
Well, it's
band
not out
is
yet, so when it
yeah,
comes out, then they have to buy it.
exactly. And these days, I do still play guitar, but I basically only play the same song, which is like a lullaby to my daughter that I wrote
Oh,
that I play to her every night. Yeah.
that's nice. She'll remember that.
Yes, for
She
sure. Because
definitely will remember
she's
that.
heard
Oh,
it
that's
literally probably 2,000 times by now.
oh, that is really sweet. Well, one of these days you'll have to come up with another song as she gets older to put her to bed, right?
Yes,
Aw.
probably
So,
so.
so tell me a little bit more about like your backpacking days, and a little bit about that. So you were backpacking and then decided to do the band, or was the backpacking after or before? Like,
I
tell us a little
wasn't
bit about that.
really, yeah, so I've done backpacking, but that particular trip wasn't really a backpacking
Oh,
trip. So I've studied abroad a lot. I spent a year in Tokyo and then also a semester in Hungary and a semester in Greece. And this particular trip to Italy was the summer between my sophomore and junior years of college. And I was planning on studying in Hungary that fall. But some of my friends were studying in Florence and Rome and Madrid, and a couple of others also just basically met in Florence. So that trip honestly wasn't really a backpacking trip at
okay,
all.
okay.
We were just we were just living and working in
And
Florence for the whole semester.
what were you learning when you were as a study abroad student? Was it the
International
language?
relations. Well, I did. So I was originally I was a Japanese major actually with an international
Oh,
relations and poli sci minor, but then I switched it to an international relations major with
oh,
my
that's so interesting.
yeah. So not writing, but a lot of travel.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
okay, what was your day job before you started writing?
that's a great question. So primarily I've been doing business development and sales and a little bit of marketing in tech. So mostly for tech startups.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I guess in California, I mean that's
Yeah,
so, like that's all they do practically over there is all the startups and, all that kind of stuff. Well, what
yeah,
made
that
you
and
move to Colorado?
so my wife and I had been living in LA for a pretty long time independently. So she went to college there, and then I met her there. And I do love LA quite a bit actually, but we were just thinking about moving within LA, and there was also we were kicking around the idea of another city, and Denver was on a very short list. And this was in the summer of 2019 when those fires were happening, like in the city. I mean, there was like ash falling on us, and our daughter, I think, was maybe 3 or 4 at the time. We were
Wow.
thinking about putting an offer on a house in one of the canyons where there's just like two ways in, two ways out.
Mm.
And a lot of the fires happened there. The house we were thinking about did not burn, but with a little kid, we were like, forget it.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
kind of
was working
scary.
remotely, and she applied for a job in Denver, got it, and we just decided to take the plunge. Moved here, and then got settled, and then like a month later, the pandemic hit. So
So you're just kind of like starting learning your surroundings because you were stuck home for so long, you know?
it was like that for the first year actually, but
Mhm.
now but Colorado was really good about everything, so kind of got it under wraps pretty quickly. So I was really happy that we were here rather than in LA or New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, but for the first year, however long it was, feels like 50 years ago at this point, but like, which is crazy. It's like it's just not weird. Just like the beginning of the pandemic feels like a distant memory. But yeah, but like in the beginning, it was like that where we just moved here and then everything got shut down. Yeah.
Now, I'm sure you love Colorado. I hear a lot of people who do move there, they just fall in love with it and they don't want to leave.
Yeah, Colorado is really cool. It has a lot to offer, but I will say, I mean, coming from New York and also having lived in LA for so long, I really miss the ocean.
The ocean.
And I
Okay.
also miss good wine tasting too.
Well, I'm trying. There really is no wine stuff over there, right? I mean,
There is, but it's like 4 hours from here. We haven't gone yet.
yeah,
But it
that's
seems
a bit, yeah, that's more than a date. That's an overnight trip for sure.
yeah, it would be, and it's not going to compare to California, but
Yeah,
I mean, nothing does
nothing.
compare.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I totally agree. Um, I'm going to ask you some questions. If you were going to um, cast some celebrities, say you were making the Prisoner of Paradise, you were making it into a movie or say a Netflix series, who do you think you would cast as the main characters in your book? Have you
That's a
thought of
great
that?
question, and I would first of all love it if that happens. So anybody listening from Netflix or anywhere else, really.
Yeah.
I think for the main character, his name is Nick O'Connor. Probably someone like Ryan Gosling or Chris Evans. They're both
Ooh.
a little old for the role now. Nick is 28. I think they're probably, I don't know, 39 or 40 at this point.
Hmm.
Although they can probably play younger. But I think that either of those guys or somebody like that would be perfect. So Nick is a good-looking guy. He's 6 foot tall. He's athletic. He's kind of quiet and introspective, but also can be a bit goofy. And I think that both of those guys have played those types of roles. It's also a very physically demanding role. I put him through the ringer. So it definitely would need to be somebody who can handle that kind of physical demand.
Yeah,
And
you
then,
actually had some good fight scenes in that in your book in the Prisoner of Paradise.
yeah, he gets hurt quite a bit. So, and then for Julia O'Connor, his wife, probably Florence Pugh. Do you know who she is?
No. What
Um,
did she play in? What movie, Gene?
she was in Midsummer and Black Widow and I think Little Women and some other movies.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
she's becoming like the next big actor. And she's also a fantastic actor. And it would be like physically, she looks exactly kind of how I envision Julia. But of course, I'd also take someone like, Jennifer Lawrence or anybody like that. Um, really, honestly, anybody, I'll do it myself as long as it gets made
Right.
into a movie
That's right.
or series, preferably series.
Yeah, I think I definitely could see it as more of a series than just a movie because there's a lot going on. You need more time.
Yeah, exactly. So I would
Mhm.
love it to be on like Amazon Prime or Netflix, HBO or Stars. It is definitely R-rated, and would require a decent budget. And fun fact, by the way,
Yeah.
I actually originally wrote The Prisoner of Paradise as a screenplay
Oh,
before it was a book.
so
So my,
wait,
yeah,
that was a screenplay before it became a book.
yes.
Wow.
So
Can I just hold on for 1 second? I just want to let everybody know that if they post a comment asking Rob a question about himself or his books, that automatically enters you into winning either an ebook or the audio book. So please feel free to post in comments. Don't just do an emoji. We want to like hear what you have to say. So do a little bit more than just an emoji. All right, sorry. So go ahead. So it was a screenplay at first.
yes, so I have a screenwriting background. I'm also a screenwriter, and that script was optioned by a production company founded by DreamWorks execs,
Oh, okay.
which was pretty cool. Unfortunately, the movie never got made, but when the rights reverted back to me, I decided to adapt it into a book. Originally, it was only supposed to be one book, but it organically grew and expanded so much, became a series. So now I do think that. So
Wow.
originally, I wrote the script as a movie, but I think it would be much better as a TV show.
Absolutely. I totally agree. So Um, you never know because you wrote the books and now it's even longer and even better. So I think
Yeah.
it may work. It may work. You never know.
Fingers crossed. That was pretty
Fingers
cool.
crossed, but good for you. Um, we're gonna play like a little game, like this or that.
Okay.
Now I know right now you like your hard seltzer, but do you prefer red wine or white wine?
Definitely red.
Definitely
99%
red.
of the time. Yeah.
I agree. Okay, do you prefer steak and potatoes or fish and rice?
I like both. So I would really like to vary it. If I could only eat one for the rest of my life, I'd probably go with fish and rice.
Okay, very good. That's the Well, I know you're a New Yorker, but maybe from living in California for so long, you, you're like,
What?
well, no, because
No,
Long
no, no.
Island, yeah,
It
yeah,
definitely, yeah, I would say
by
that,
the ocean. You're right.
yeah.
Absolutely.
You actually probably, I think you get more seafood kind of regularly in New York than you do in LA.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, there's fishing out in Santa Barbara and things like that, but most of it's not really local to Southern California. Whereas you really do legitimately get local stuff in New York.
Absolutely. Yep. Every day they're
Um,
out.
but there's a bigger reason too, which is that there's way more variety of seafood than steak.
You're right. I'm just not a fish person.
Uh,
Yeah, I only will eat a couple of things, and that's it. I know I'm terrible.
so you're red wine, steak, and potatoes.
Yeah. Yep. 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 I wish but I
Nothing wrong with
just,
that.
yeah, I just, I can't help it. It's my parents are from the Midwest, born and raised. So that's the kind of values I have. So that's, meat and potatoes. That's what they were brought up on. So I guess
But
that's
you
just,
definitely didn't inherit their accent.
no, 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 no. Well, we moved to, Long Island, like probably 1969 or 70 or something like that. So they both have the New York accent now. No, no more Midwestern accents.
Uh, gotcha.
Um, okay, cake or cookies?
That's a good one. It would really depend upon the type of cake and cookies, but I'm in generally probably cookies. I'm gonna go with cookies.
Okay, so what do you like to grab? What kind of
Anything
cookies?
chocolate. If it's chocolate with fruit, That's my favorite.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's pretty rare
Um,
to find that. So
chocolate covered strawberries. Those are easy to make.
love those. Love
Hmm.
macarons. I'm not sure if those are really cookies, but love them. Pretty
Yeah,
much any of them.
I would say,
You know,
yeah.
and
I mean,
also, yeah, give me like a good classic chocolate chip cookie, and I'll gobble those up anything.
pretzels or potato chips.
Pretzels, I think, probably. Yeah,
Okay.
in general. Yeah.
Okay. If you were going on a vacation, would you choose the beach, staying in the beach house or the lake house?
Now, because I live in Colorado, without question, beach. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I
going
knew you were going to say that. You're dying for the water.
beach.
Yep, you definitely want the beach. What else could I ask you? Vodka or tequila?
Tequila.
Okay.
Yeah, I like tequila a lot. That's not,
I love
I
my
like,
Grey Goose.
yeah, I like vodka too, but a good tequila is pretty awesome. I mean, you know, tequila can be almost like wine
Yeah,
in some.
you know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. It has come a long, long, long way. It's
Where it's
amazing.
really it's really we're finally getting all this good stuff that has been around for decades, if not centuries, but Americans, for whatever reason, just haven't gotten it here. But yeah, but
Mhm.
like if you go to a tequila bar, you know, and they have like 100 varieties, you know, you can get like
Wow.
the incredible reposados and you know, also mezcal I love. So yeah, I'm a pretty big tequila.
Good for you. I think I probably would too if I would had a chance to taste all those.
I haven't had all of them, but
I just want to see if anybody, um, a lot of people joined, but I don't see any questions.
well,
Well, even though uh, people who are watching now, you can still put a question in for Rob or a comment. You have up until Monday at midnight. So this way everybody has a chance to watch, to watch the show, whether they watch it live or, at their convenience. So there's definitely chances for anyone to win an audio book or the ebook. Definitely just post a comment or a question for Rob and he'll answer your question. And then eventually after by Tuesday, then we'll pick who the winners are. Usually
and
that's what
right now your
happens.
odds, yeah, and right now your odds are pretty good.
Your odds are very, very good. Yep, I would definitely say so. And if they could, I mean, anybody, I mean, I'm going for the audiobook because I love audiobooks to begin with, but your narrator would, just blew it away for me anyway. It was phenomenal. I loved it. What else can I ask you before we go? Well, your next book is coming out October 25th. And Rob is actually doing a book tour with me. So if anyone out there in Instagram land, if they are interested in reading the books are very limited. So I can't say yes, but you have a good chance of getting a book if you guys feel like you'd like to sign up. Definitely go over to my Instagram page and give me a message and give me a shout out and say that you're interested in reading the book. Um, it starts November 1st, right? It's going to be for 2 weeks. Did I leave out anything, Rob?
I don't think so.
I think that's really it. I mean, we had planned on doing about a half hour. It's a little bit over a half hour. I appreciate you coming on, and I definitely want you to come on again, and we can talk more about your second book, The Painter of the Dam, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah. And just to recap for everybody, of course, like a total idiot, I forgot to bring The Prisoner of Paradise over here. It's upstairs. But I do happen to have a bookmark here, and the bookmark does look
Yes.
a lot like the cover. So that's Prisoner of Paradise by me,
Yes.
Rob Samborn. And my website is robsamborn.com, and I'm on every social media platform. That's usually my username. And this is Painter of the
Yes.
Dam, which will
Yes.
be released October 25th. Prisoner of Paradise is available in all formats, ebook, paperback, hardcover, and audiobook. Painter of the Damned will be the same. And I may as well announce this here first, which is that I'm going to have a spin-off novella called The
Oh,
Swordsman of
okay.
Venice. And so, as I was explaining before, these books are dual timeline. They take place in the present day and also the 16th century. And in the 16th century, there's the main character who we get bits and pieces of his story. And this spin-off novella follows his journey. So it's entirely historical fiction. And I'm going to be hopefully releasing that in towards the end of September.
Oh, wow. So it's any time now. That's wonderful to hear. That's
Yeah,
great. And then you
I better
will
get
though,
started
do
writing
you
it.
have a third book coming out though as well, like later down the road?
Yeah, so the third
Okay.
book in the actual series that'll be released in 2023.
Oh, so you already know. Okay, good for you. Okay, so you're rocking and rolling. You're going.
Yeah, I better get started writing these things. No, I'm just kidding.
So the novella is going to be available, you said, in September, and the
Yeah, I
right,
don't have a release date yet for
right,
that,
but
and
sometime in
that's only
September.
yeah, that'll only be an ebook.
Okay, all right. And the Painter of the Damned, October 25th.
Correct.
Perfect. Okay. Everyone should know that. Don't forget. Oh, somebody wrote great interview.
Thanks, Shanessa.
Uh, Shanice. It's an author.
Shanessa, yeah,
Shanessa.
she's my friend Shanessa Gloom. Fantastic author herself.
Uh,
So her book, everybody should read as well. It's called Enemies of Doves, and she
oh,
has another
okay.
book coming out as well called A River of Crows that will be released, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Shanessa, but I believe in Q1 or Q2 of 2023.
Wow, isn't that nice? Very nice. I love to hear that. You know, it's good when authors are supporting authors. That's what it's all about.
Yes, the writing community is incredible. I have
Mhm.
met so many friends. Everyone is incredibly supportive. You know, say a rising tide lifts all boats, and it's kind of like we're all in this together, all helping each other out. So, yeah, I absolutely love the writing community.
Good for you. I appreciate you coming on, Rob. And we'll be working on that book tour for you. And we'll definitely have you back on when after Painter of the Dam is out, not
Well,
before.
thank
We
you.
don't want to.
Definitely, I
We don't
can't
want
wait
any
to be on.
spoilers.
Yes, so I can't wait to be on again. Thanks so much. It's been a pleasure doing this with you, and I hope you have a great night.
Thank you. You too, Rob. Thank you so much for
And
coming on.
And thanks to the audience for everybody who tuned
Yes.
in. Really appreciate it. Hope you
Yeah.
all have
Leave
a
your
great night.
comments so you can enter to win. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.